debate now, and it's speeches of 6 minutes, please, with a little bit of time at the moment for interventions. That may change. And I call George Adam to be followed by Cara Hilton.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Presiding Officer, it is my belief that this bill can set the foundations for raising attainment in Scotland. This will not happen overnight, and it will not be easy for us to close that gap completely, but the most important things in life never are easy. So I welcome the bill at stage one, and I look forward to working with colleagues on the committee as it progresses. There are a number of aspects to this bill that I would like to discuss in more detail. Most importantly, the bill will promote equity in education by placing a duty on councils to have regard to the need to narrow the attainment gap when exercising their education functions. Ensure that councils have professional advice on provisions of their education functions by ensuring that all councils have an appropriately qualified, experienced Chief Education Officer. And I support the idea of a Chief Education Officer as someone who worked previously within a local authority and understanding how local authorities are working. And it is similar to having a chief. If you only look at some of the education authorities, you can see that many are merging social work and education together. So it only makes sense that you do have an educationalist there as the main officer. But ADES obviously stated that they welcomed the Education Scotland bill and the increased focus it plays on the need to deliver a better, more equitable education system for Scotland. The action being taken by the Scottish Government to address the disparity in outcomes faced by pupils from disadvantaged communities is positive, and is their commitment to ensuring that each and every local authority has a Chief Education Officer. But poverty is one of the major challenges we face as we seek to bridge the attainment gap. It is clear that the Scottish Government is committed to doing all it can in its power to eradicate poverty in Scotland, but it is not acceptable that poverty can be used as an excuse for failure or for a young person being disadvantaged from birth. An additional 100,000 Scottish children will be living in poverty by 2020 because of UK welfare reforms, and this is before the next round of cuts that are due. But we must see school education as one of the most powerful tools we have at our disposal to help overcome the disadvantages associated with poverty. We must ensure that the education system can adapt to career paths and work patterns of the future, and this is a major theme of the Scottish Government's ongoing work in developing the young workforce. The challenge before us is great, but it's one that we must address. The recession and the deep public spending cuts which followed have created pressures for Scottish Government, for local government and for many families, but the fact still remains that education in Scotland has made progress. In every part of the country, Scotland has good schools, good teachers, and our young people are good learners. Standards have risen and are continuing to rise. That's a testament to the hard work of our local authorities, the contribution of many other individuals and organisations, but most of all, it's a huge tribute to the dedication of teachers, parents and students across the country. And one of the issues that we've had when we've been discussing some of the aspects of this as well is how important parents are in the whole process when we're talking about attainment, to ensure that we get parents to be involved from regardless of background with their child's education and making sure that they push that forward. But the introduction of the Curriculum for Excellence has been a major step forward, and it gives teachers more flexibility, provides a broader education for young people and sets higher standards for achievement than ever before. But the new National Improvement Framework will help close the gap in attainment and ensure all children are being equipped with the skills they need. This year's ambitious programme for government put education at the very heart of the Scottish Government's efforts to make Scotland a fairer country. The Education Scotland bill has a key role to play in this. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon said improving school attainment is arguably the single most important objective in this programme of government. So my interpretation of the new national assessments would be that they developed in partnership with local government, teachers and parents, and they will replace the variety of different assessments that are already currently being used by local authorities. So this will not add to the workload of teachers. This is not a narrowing of the curriculum or forcing teachers to teach to test. I do not believe that this will be a return to the bad old days of national testing, but a focused look at the needs of individual pupils. The Education Bill proposes measures aimed at narrowing the attainment gap and further progresses the Scottish Government's improvement agenda. Tackling educational inequalities at the heart of this SNP Government's agenda, ensuring that all our children and young people get that chance and opportunity regardless of where you live. I also welcome the fact that the attainment challenge will actually draw on the experience of the London Challenge that helped transform school performance in that city, and also look at other international experiences. As we all know, the challenge will be backed by an attainment fund of more than £100 million to drive forward improvements in educational outcomes in Scotland's most disadvantaged communities. We are all aware that the fund will initially target schools with the biggest concentration of households in deprived areas identified through the Scottish Index of Multiple Deprivation. I was also actually heartened to hear that Dr Bill Maxwell, in evidence this week at Committee of Education Scotland, said that he believed that 30 of the 32 attainment advisors are already in place in local government, and in the future he would see that they would be the people who would be focusing on where resource would go as we try to bridge the gap in attainment in future. So I welcomed that as well. Presiding Officer, this bill at stage 1 is welcome because it provides us with a direction of travel with regards to closing the educational attainment gap in Scotland completely. As I've already stated, this will not happen overnight and it will be difficult. But for me, and I believe the people we represent, this provides our children with a better opportunity to succeed in life, providing them with the tools they need for their future. Presiding Officer, closing the attainment gap completely may be ambitious, it may be an ambitious goal, but it's one we must all get behind and support.
Many thanks.